Oh, hello there, Internet, and welcome to episode 27 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B Man, the People's Degenerate. I really need to pee right now. Like, I can feel my urine in the shaft of Mr. Perfect, and my goal is to get through this segment without having to stop the camera and go use the toilet. I think way too much about pee, and I want to know how many times a day do you average taking a piss? For me, maybe once every 2 hours. And I'm so like obsessed with my urine that I track the yellowness of it. So if I pee and it's clear, like I feel really good about myself. If it's really yellow, I get nervous and I consume way too much water. And like I base my schedule around my pee. What I mean by that is when I go to baseball games, like Yankee Stadium, I will always try to get an aisle seat. So when I have to get up, I don't have to interrupt people to go take a piss between innings. When I have to take a flight, I will dehydrate myself the 24 hours before takeoff. So I won't drink any water for 24 hours prior to the flight so that when we're in the air, I don't have to use those small itty bitty bathrooms because I get stage fright when I'm in public and I can't pee. So I'm in my head. Maybe I need to see a psychiatrist about this. Let me know down in the comments. How many times a day do you pee, and do you base your daily schedule on that pee schedule of yours? Well, oh yeah, and notice we got the bandana. We're doing it. Bandana Summer 2024. Join the revolution. Be cool like us here at Verbal Graffiti. Cool? No. We got the Riz. We're Riz here at Verbal Graffiti. This one comes from the subreddit barista. What is the psychology behind weird men going into coffee shops just to stare at the girls? The shop I work at is all women, and we have a couple of regulars who we all hate because they just stare at us. And one guy comes in literally every day, and I don't understand what kind of enjoyment he gets from this. It's so obvious by the looks on their faces and how often they come in. I just don't understand, like, what is your game plan? You're just coming in to get an eyeful? It's really weird. No, it's not. No, it's not weird at all. Sometimes I don't think attractive babes realize how their attractiveness affects men. Like, just seeing a hot babe makes our days better. Honestly, for me, one of my favorite things is when I'm at a grocery store and I'm pushing a cart and a hot babe with a tight t-shirt or hoodie on walks by, and just getting a glimpse of her. And you can smell her perfume. That brightens my day, that one moment. So there is nothing weird about guys going into a coffee shop, checking out the barista, maybe staring a little too long. Maybe they shouldn't do that. But you shouldn't be writing a post trying to discredit who they are as humans. You need to realize that your attractiveness is power, and you got to appreciate that power because it's not going to last forever. There will come a day when you're going to be old and decrepit and wrinkly, and your vagina is going to be crusty, and no one at the coffee shop is going to be staring at you. So, because right now, you're a superstar. Customers, patrons, they come in, you're the one taking the orders, you're making the espressos, you're taking the orders, you're yelling out to the guy making it. You go, hey, the guy wants a latte, 2 scoops of vanilla, 3 Splenda, and whipped cream for Stephen M. And everyone's looking at you, and and everyone's smiling more at you because you're attractive. And you know that machine with the tip, the 18, the 25, or the 30, you're getting more 30% tips because of your attractiveness. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny how baristas will complain about a guy asking for her number or staring at her from the corner at a cafe, but they'll never complain about getting a larger tip because of their larger tits. Funny how that is, isn't it? You got to take the good with the bad, hon. So shut up and enjoy your attractiveness. because your life is better because of it. And just because of these small inconvenience, maybe some guys staring at you. So they're staring at you. So what? As long as they're not like actually drooling or giving you a kind of signal, like you just take the tip and shut up. Your life is perfect. You're a barista. You're young. You get the hot bartenders. You have choices. You have a future. These guys don't. This is all they have in life. Get this through your head. They walk into the coffee shop. Their life, they don't have a life. Like they're married. Maybe they're not. Their kids are whatever. They're nothing special. They work a job just to collect the paycheck. They have no passion for what they do. Their wife doesn't respect them anymore. No woman stares at them. Even the Fraggle Rock looking women don't look at them. They probably don't have the funds, are too embarrassed to go to a strip club or get a high-end escort. You're literally, all these 2 or 3 creeps have is sipping a coffee, getting some stimulation from that, and staring at the hot barista a little too much. And if that's like your big complaint in life, is that, oh, there are a couple creeps at my coffee shop who make me feel a little uncomfortable, like your life's pretty fucking good and you should be thankful to have it. And honestly, if you want to get rid of these guys, why don't you confront them instead of bitching about it on Reddit? 2 options. 1, you confront the 2 guys and you tell them, stop staring at me, you creep, you have no riz, you got the ick, so get the fuck out of my cafe. Or take them to the bathroom and make a deal. Say, hey, I'll blow you right now, but if I do blow you, you're no longer allowed in this shop. And they're going to probably take the blowjob, and then you'll never have to deal with them again. That might be sexual harassment, but we're okay with sexual harassment here at Verbal Graffiti. I hope just appreciate your hotness, because it's magic. You literally have magic, from your perfect hair to your perfectly done nails on your toes. Enjoy it. Enjoy the creeps. Enjoy everything that comes from it. You're making so much. You know that the barista the freak show with like the fucking Kermit the Frog hair, and there are too many piercings on her face to count. You're making so much more money than she is in tips because you're hot and she's a freak show that you have no leg to stand on here. You just take, like I said earlier, take the good with the bad. You're a hot babe, and you should be thankful that you won the genetic lottery. Too much of a pause right there. Okay. Let's get into a segment now. Yo, the B-Man has still not gone tinkle. Pat on the back for that. Sometimes I wonder how people like Bruce Springsteen, who's famous for these 3-hour-long concerts, does so without having to take a piss at any point throughout the performance. That guy must have the bladder of a whale. I don't know. How often do whales pee? Too much urine content in this episode. Let's get to this one. Comes from the subreddit Bad Roommates. I'll put the text messaging up here and I'll read the message now. I, 20 male, live with my girlfriend, 21, have a roommate, male, 40. He is mentally handicapped and a drunk. He doesn't leave a mess anywhere for the most part, rather than the little things. He listens to pornographic and softcore porn very loud. Like you're sitting on a couch and your parents are fucking next door loud. Odd comparison? This obviously bothered my girlfriend when she heard it and I wasn't there at the time. I told her to calm down and it probably wasn't that bad and to focus on something else. I came home for my lunch the other day and for the entire hour, straight porn, moaning, grunts, the whole 9. I just ignored it and had my games real loud. How do you annoy that? After I got off work, he's still playing porno on the TV loud as hell. So I knock on the door hard and tell him he needs to turn it down. I text him this because he was offended that he had zero care for how his roommates may have felt. Am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole. But take a lesson from this. You need to do a better job at vetting future roommates for an apartment. That is one of the most important skills you can learn in life. I've had a few roommates, and actually, I should tell you this. When I lived in New York City, I wasn't able to afford my own place, so I had to rent rooms. So I found roommates through Craigslist, which sounds super freaky, but is somewhat common there because of how competitive the rental market is in New York City. So every time I would go to an apartment, we'd have these, you'd sit down on the couch, you kind of do an interview, and you'd always have that question of, so how many overnight guests do you usually have? And there you kind of have to read between the lines. And I never wanted to have attractive roommates because if you were like an attractive barista or an actor, like I just knew, oh, you'd probably fuck a lot. And the B man likes his sleep, so I can't be up all night listening to two hot people fuck. So I was always looking for somewhat ugly roommates that look like Fraggle Rocks. So one time I lived with a Japanese lesbian, and I just got the vibe that this girl doesn't fuck a lot, which she didn't. And then I had another roommate who I nicknamed Hairy Arms because she was this Russian lady with hairier arms than myself, and she loved to play board games, so I knew like she wasn't fucking much. So when finding roommates, sometimes finding the one who isn't sexually active is more important than finding one that you'll get along with. And some people call me a 40-year-old drunk who's handicapped. So I am the type of roommate you do not want to have, even though I don't fuck very often. You're do a better job vetting future apartment roommates because you obviously at some point you're going to get rid of this guy. Before we get into his pornography, there's one thing I gotta call you out for, and that is having your girlfriend at the apartment while you're not there. That's a big pet peeve of mine. Is she paying rent? I think not. So what is she doing at the apartment while you're not there? That's a major no-no to me. Because if she's not paying rent, it gets fucking annoying to every other roommate that she's lounging in the common areas without you there. It's like, dude, you're a freeloader here. Like, fuck you. You shouldn't get any rights. I should be allowed to be if you're not there, I should be in the living room. And your girlfriend, she's cock blocking the living room couch. So fuck her. So be cognizant of that with future roommates that you have and future girlfriends, because your girlfriend is going to break up with you for having a roommate that is addicted to porn. But again, we're not porn shaming here. So you're not an asshole, but I don't think the roommate's an asshole either. Like, I think he's trying to smoke you out of this apartment. He obviously doesn't like you or have any respect for you. So he's thinking, hey, how can I get this guy, you, to leave the apartment? I'll just listen to porn 24 hours a day. When I was in college, I transferred to UConn, and so I moved into a room, like a dorm room, and the guy I was living with, like his previous roommate was a black guy, and my roommate was a racist. So he told me he got rid of that guy by just dropping the N-word over and over again until he got fed up and left. So I mean that's an ultra aggressive way of getting rid of a roommate and a very shameful way of getting a roommate. But sometimes you got to do stuff to get rid of a guy that you don't like. And I think that's what this guy's doing here. He's just trying to sound you off out of this apartment. So you have a couple of options. One, you can go to the landlord, because I do believe this constitutes some type of sexual harassment, maybe. So maybe you're able to get out of your lease. And if not, even if you do break the lease, which I think you kind of have to do, is just break the lease and let this guy win. Yeah, you might take a knock on your credit score, but you're only 20. So by the time you're a little bit older and actually want to get a house or a really nice car, I think you'll be able to boost your credit up to the 700s or maybe even the 800s. But that's not what I would do. The B man here at Verbal Graffiti, we fight passive aggressiveness with even more passive aggressiveness. My advice to you is to fuck your girlfriend in the living room. Show your roommate you're the alpha male and he's the beta cuck. You go to him and go, hey, oh, you're listening to pornography? Well, you're a beta. I'm an alpha. I'm having real sex. So who's a man in this apartment? And you just fuck your girlfriend every day on the living room couch till that 40-year-old handicapped Fraggle Rock gets so frustrated that he has to leave, and then you get to move in a roommate who you actually know and get along with. That's the game plan. You gotta out perv the perv roommate. And we know how to do that here at Verbal Graffiti. So, and the more sex you have in public in the common area, the better chance you have of getting him to move out on his own. And then you could have namaste. Is that's what they call it in yoga? Namaste, nirvana, peace, metta, whatever that is. You gotta fuck your way to namaste. Till next episode, what are we gonna do? Oh yeah, that's right. Go suck a fat one.